Hello again, RC boat fans. Today I've got the Blackjack 24 on the bench. I've had issues over the last year or so running this motor. It just runs really hot. The ESC I had to replace when I first got the boat. I bought it used. Replaced the stock ESC with the Turnigy Marine 90 amp. It runs cool. The motor always runs crazy hot, and I don't know why. I have had people tell me that the motor itself just naturally runs hot. I have been running the stock propeller, so it's not like I'm overpropping it. And I even have the water line split so that the ESC has its own water pickup and exit, and then the motor has its own water pickup and exit. In order to get this boat to run a little bit better, I've decided to replace the motor. I have a Surpass Hobby Rocket 4-pole 3660 2600 kV motor. The stock motor is a 3650 size motor and 2000 kV. The motor also comes with a water cooling jacket, so that'll be installed before I put the motor inside the boat. So the first thing we need to do is get the water cooling lines off. I did that before starting the video just because they're so hard to get off. They were kind of stuck on there. So to make it easy, I already pre-pulled the water cooling lines. So those come off. Then we disconnect the motor wires from the ESC. And the motor banana plugs on the new motor are the same size as on this motor. I don't need to change the ESC plugs. Next, we need to get the prop shaft out. So we need to loosen the collet to get the prop shaft out. And then I also have this prop shaft saver, which I've already loosened, and that'll come off once I get these loose. Let me get my crescent wrench and my open-ended wrench and get these off so we can get that prop shaft out. All right, everything is loose. I can pull my prop shaft out. Now that that's out of the way, these two screws come out, and that'll let us remove the whole motor. And then there's two screws that go into the face of the motor that holds this whole mounting bracket on. So we'll take those out next. We got those out. Now the whole motor pulls out. So then we'll have to take these two out, and then this whole mounting bracket will attach to the new motor. And then we'll take this, the prop shaft collet, off of the motor, and then reuse this on the new motor as well. All right, we got the mounting bracket off. That's just sitting here. Next, to get this off, it's just the one set screw that will also come off. And this will pull off the motor. And now I have a spare 2000 kV 3650 motor. In order to get the water cooling jacket onto the motor, I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the O-rings. So I took a little motor oil, put that on my finger here, and just wipe. It's not a lot, just enough to get them on. Different people use different things. I was told a long time ago to use oil. That's what I've used on all of mine, and it works. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Wiggle it on a little bit, make sure the O-rings don't come out. Come at it from the front. There it is. Water cooling jacket is mounted, although I do need to rotate it. Should have put it on the right way the first time. Next, we're going to put this on using the same screws that were on the stock motor. Just give it a spin. Yeah, we're not touching. Now, this, see how this has got this little cutout here? The flat part is what's going to mount into here. Motor wires are coming out this side. We'll mount this up quick, and then we'll check and make sure the canopy goes on, and then maybe readjust the water cooling jacket. I have to take this off again and rotate these. There's lots of screw holes here, so I can rotate this over more. So I'm going to do that next. Alright, so now I've turned this. I was mounted in this set of holes. Now I've turned it. So now you can see the motor wires are going to come out this side. And again, just going to tighten this down. So then I need to move these again. Alright, so I've got that moved. These are now over to the side a little more. Let's do another test fit here. Get this tightened down so we can test fit again. Alright, this here with the water lines, the hatch goes on, or everything fits well, no issues with pinching water lines. So that's good. Although I am going to make this longer where it comes into the hull just because I don't like how this is routed. So I will take this out again. I did hook up the wires. Wires plug in without an issue. So last thing I need to do is get the collet back on, hook up the prop shaft, and make sure everything works. So we got this back on, and I did loosen, there's 2 screws here. There's one here underneath this water line. You can't see it so well, but this allows you to adjust the motor mounting bracket towards the bow or towards the stern. I've got it as far towards the bow as possible to leave as much room here as I can. So this is now mounted. Prop shaft slides right in. It lines right up. No issues. So I'll just put the prop shaft keeper back on, assuming I can get it in there. There it is. And we just work the shaft into place. Tighten this back up and we'll be all set. So again, just using my open-ended wrench and a crescent wrench just to get these tightened against each other. Obviously this tightens the collet down around the prop shaft. You want it tight, but not to the point where it's so tight you run the risk of snapping something. But as tight as it needs to get. And then our shaft keeper is just going to slide up against the collet, and we tighten that set screw and we're done. So that is it. The new 3660 2600 kV Surpass Hobby Rocket brushless motor is now installed. Everything is rehooked up. I will do a water test, make sure everything is sealed up tight, make sure there aren't any leaks. Then we'll hook it up to a battery, make sure everything runs, and then wait until we have open water to run it. Very quick, very simple upgrade to my Blackjack 24.